I've been in final preparation mode for the last few weeks, and I've had like a seemingly rather, never ending list of things to do, and it felt like I would never get through it. And in the beginning, I was trying to do as much as I could because I didn't know how long it would take. And it's like I was trying to balance that with, not pushing myself too much and having enough time to rest and, hopefully rebuild my strength a bit before the trip. But it's just been like a never ending cycle of, okay, I have to do these things, so let me do them. And then it kind of like exhausts me. And then like I need a day to recover. And then a couple more days where I can do stuff. And then I need another day or so to recover. And it's kind of been going through this cycle for a while. And I'm finally getting to the end of the list. I had, I don't know, over 20 things to do in the beginning, and now I have two left. Well, technically three, but I don't really count one of them because it's just like such a tiny thing, it's no big deal. So, first one is getting my passport, and I'm going this afternoon to the passport place to get my passport because it should be ready this afternoon. So that's definitely exciting because, you know, nothing else works without this. Because even though my other passport was still valid, now that I ordered the new one, it's no longer valid. So at the moment, I don't currently have a passport. So I'm really, really, really hoping that nothing goes wrong and there's some sort of delay because that would really, really suck. Because the timeline is as follows. Today we're Thursday. Um, and then we have Friday, Saturday, and then I'm leaving on Sunday. So it's like, okay, if for some reason it's not ready between 1 and 4:30 p.m. today as they said, that gives me one final day, Friday, in order to get my passport. If I can't get it, I miss my flight because I don't have a passport because, it's a government building. It's only open during the week and my flight is on Sunday. So, let's not focus too much on the negative, but it's still something I've been aware of. There's been kind of like two things that are like, okay, these are kind of like deal breakers type of thing. It was obviously the passport, and then the other one is the excuse me, and the other one is the apartment. And I just resolved that this morning. So I've been working on it for the last couple weeks. People coming to visit and stuff like that, and me trying because basically like there's three people that I was looking for. Like my ideal candidate was someone who was willing to take over the apartment and buy the furniture because then I can get the furniture back. Sorry, I can get the money back that I invested when I first rented this place, and myself bought the furniture that was here before. All the furniture that's here, except a couple things that I bought. Um, I bought when I got here, so it's like it would have been nice to get the money back. Second most ideal person is they want to take over the apartment and they want to buy part of the furniture, so not ideal, but better than nothing. And then finally, the third candidate is just someone who's willing to take over the apartment. So I didn't find anyone who was willing to buy all the furniture. I did find two people who were interested in purchasing part of the furniture. One of them never responded and completely ghosted me, so he's out. The other one was interested, not that much, because like I bought all the furniture for about for not about, but $2,000 last year when I bought or when I rented the apartment, and so I was hoping like let me get the 2,000 back because not only is there all the furniture that was here when I moved in and that I bought, but I bought a bunch more furniture. I bought all the workout equipment. I bought drapes for the windows. I bought, a bunch of picture frames, and I bought the mattress topper for my bed, the memory foam pillows and everything in the kitchen because the kitchen was like bare. There's like one or two pots, like really old crappy ones with the like, half burnt handle and half broken. And there's like two, three plates, couple of bowls, like couple of utensils, but nothing much. So I just like fully equipped the kitchen. And it would have been nice to get part of that money back, but I guess it wasn't meant to happen. So that's the thing. So as I was saying, the second person who was interested in purchasing part of it was only willing to pay 500 for a couple stuff because she already had most things. So I'm like, better than nothing. Okay, let me connect you with the landlord, and then we can begin the process. And unfortunately, I don't know the exact details because legally my landlord is not allowed to tell me. But apparently there was an issue with her credit score, so she was out. And there was another guy who actually already lives in the building and was interested in the apartment. In fact, when he first moved in, he wanted this apartment, but someone else took it before he could. So he took another one instead that's, downstairs, so half basement. And now that this one opened up, he's like, I want it. And so we ended up going with him. Signed some of the papers yesterday and signed the remaining ones this morning. So now officially, as of May 1st, I am no longer responsible for the apartment. And I already paid for April, so we're good. Like on that front, on the apartment front, everything's handled. What I did since I wasn't able to sell the furniture, if I had a little more time, I'd try to sell some online. It's just like, it's hard to sell a bed when you still need the bed. Plus, it's not like that fancy furniture. It's not really worth that much. So it'd probably be kind of hard to sell. So what I'm going to do is I told my friend, like, hey, I rented or did a lease transfer. I have nothing to do with all the furniture. Feel free to, stop by and take whatever you want. Well, within reason, not my wallet, not my bed, things that I need. But yeah, that way he can get some stuff maybe for himself. If not, then, maybe he can take some things and sell them. Like, it's the one that I find the most, like, it's a shame, like, it's most the shame. I don't know how to say that. Like, how do you say it's a shame, but it's like the most? I don't know. I don't think there's a way to say that. Anyway, is the adjustable dumbbell set that I bought to start working out again. And the thing is, like, I've used it, but it's like not that much. So it's pretty much new. And it's like, these types of things, new, are worth, I would say, anywhere between 600 and $1,000. I paid less than that, but that's kind of like the value of that new. So it's like if you buy a used, my friend might be able to get like $400 or $500. So it's like, it might be worth it for him. Or he can keep it for himself if he wants to. It's just he has a kid, and when you have a kid, you got like a bunch of stuff. So I don't know if he has the space, but it could be worthwhile just picking it up and selling it because either way you're gonna make some money. So anyway, so that's kind of the plan on that front. And then finally, just tomorrow, I need to return the modem for the internet. Or sorry, not tomorrow, on Saturday. I need to return the modem for the internet. Otherwise, I'm going to get charged for it, and why pay extra if you don't have to? And if I have time, depending on how I feel, I technically need a haircut. I know it sounds weird given the length of my head, of my hair. But if you can see in the back, it's starting to grow. And it looks kind of weird. And, even though it probably wouldn't make a difference, no one would really notice. I prefer to look as non-cancerous as possible. And walking around with patches of hair starting to grow back seems pretty cancerous to me. So anyway, those are pretty much like the things I have to do at this point. So it's, really not that much considering all the like list of 20 things that I had to do in the beginning. So it's nice to finally be nearing the end and being so close to the end because At this point, we're Thursday, then there's Friday and Saturday, and then I leave super early Sunday morning. So basically, today doesn't count because it already started. We have Saturday and Sunday. Friday and Saturday, and then I'm leaving Sunday. So that really gives us like 2 days left if you don't count today. So yeah, it's just, I've been so focused on preparing and, trying to eat as much as I can and trying to not to throw up, of course. And, getting ready for the trip and everything, that it's just like, now that I'm almost at the point where I can, relax and I can actually be like, okay, cool. Everything I needed to do is done. Now I can just focus on, let's go on this trip. And I'm really looking forward to that. That's definitely going to feel good. So yeah, that's kind of like, not really my plan, but it's just, what I've been going through for the last couple the last couple weeks. And by the way, I know some of you are worried about the trip and everything, especially the coughing, because that draws attention. But I'm not really too worried about it because it's when I talk that I cough. If I'm not talking, I'm gonna cough way, 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 way less. So it's like the amount of coughing you see on this video is not representative of the amount of coughing that I do like in, everyday life. So I'm not too worried about that. The only thing I'm worried about is, I'm not really worried about, I'm just, it would suck if it happened, is if I threw up on the plane. But, can't really control that. I can bring bags, of course, I can get ready. But, it's a possibility. So maybe there's going to be another puking milestone at some point in the next couple of days. We'll see. So anyway, that's been the update. And by the way, sorry, the fan just turned on, so let me get a little closer so the sound is better. I just want to say yesterday's video really helped me. I needed to just vent and release all that, and it felt really good. Like I had a very good night's sleep. Well, very, considerate. And this morning I feel mostly rested. Once again, it's all, subject to the situation at hand. But anyway, all that to say that today I actually feel good. Like, when those days where you feel good enough that you're like, oh wow, I kind of forgot how it felt to not, be in constant suffering, or discomfort or whatever, fill in the blank. Like it's nice every once in a while to have one of those days where you're like, okay, cool, nice. Thank you for the break. I appreciate it. And hopefully I didn't offend anyone. But if I did, well, it's too late and I do not regret it because I spoke from the heart. I always try to, but sometimes I screw up. But I don't feel like yesterday's video was, a screw up. It's like I said what I needed to say. And if people don't like it, I'm sorry, but I can't carry that burden for you. It's your responsibility. It's your burden. So anyway, all that to say, I have this clicker in my hand. And on that wonderful note, thank you for being a part of this amazing family. I love 99.9% of you very, very much. And now let's see if I missed the button.